This is TWiT.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
Come on. You're not buying into that old canard that somehow the iPhone is magically secure. Not anymore.
Come on, Leo. Don't embarrass yourself on your own show. Come on.
All right. I won't mention any 0 days or anything. I won't talk about anything.
I mean, there's a difference between 0 day stuff and the way your account is handled, right? I mean, certainly every operating system is going to suffer from some 0 day exploits. That's very different from we take your data and sell it out the back door, which one company does and, anher does not.
It's not Facebook for crying out loud. Google does have some policies in place.
They do. They do. They
don't just take your data and sell it out the back door. That's absolutely not correct.
That's kind of unfair. But
that's fair.
They do absolutely monetize it, and you should be aware of that, and you should be concerned about that depending on where your comfort level is. But on the balance, they have a smart assistant that is actually smart and actually assists you, whereas Siri is like, let me look up.
Saying
it's basically a speech version of let me Google that for you.
They just openly sell it out the front door.
It's the front door. That's right, Jim. Thank you for that. That's right.
It's also not really fair to say they're selling your data. They are selling advertising and aggregate selling your data. Google, you can't go to Google and say, I'd like to know where Leo Laporte lives.
Yes, I can. It's very easy if you just go to Google and I say, where does Leo Laporte live? It might actually tell me.
It's not. Okay, but it's not.
That's not Google telling you.
Google is not telling you.
I don't have to pay them for that.
And you can do that on the iPhone, too. If it works on an Android device, it works on the iPhone as well.
Yep.
That's true.
But no, I don't. I think it's unfair to say that they're somehow, like Facebook does, leaking your data just in general. But they do. Yes, everybody acknowledges that that's the trade-off. I'm not convinced that Apple is super private either. Their iCloud stuff isn't secure, as we know. We've seen that over and over again. If you're a foreign government, they're glad to hand over that data. Or even a United States government, they're glad to hand over that data. So I think it's, yes, absolutely, really.
I don't know.
Well, maybe they're not glad. I'm sorry. I should say they hand it over with a frown.
And a lot of resistance.
But they don't.
So
eventually, I hope Apple will make the iCloud trust no one encryption, end-to-end encrypted. It is not currently. And
no. It can't be if you want to access it in your web browser, right? Like iMessage can be, but we don't get iMessage on the web because Apple doesn't have the keys to decrypt our iMessages.
So Apple has chosen convenience over privacy. That's trade-offs companies make. And I think it's not fair to say, oh, Apple's somehow magically secure and no one else is. Apple, I think, probably does respect my privacy more because their business model is selling hardware.
It's not binary,
they're not
though.
magically secure. They actually put work into it.
And they do put a lot of work into it, although I think you could make a strong case that Google puts some work into security as well.
Yeah. But it's not binary, right? It's a continuum between uber secure and uber convenient.
Now, we know Uber's not secure at all. That's a whole different...
Well, there's that. That's true. But we could choose to live in a house that has no doors, no windows, and is just bricked from, ground to ceiling. But that's not convenient at all, right? Getting in and out is sort of difficult when you do that.
That's right.
So, it's a continuum, and I think Apple chooses a spot that's closer to secure than, let's just prioritize convenience. That said, they do a pretty good job of making security convenient with things like Face ID and, all of that stuff. They really work to make it so that I didn't used to put a passcode on my iPhone before Touch ID.
They deserve a lot of credit for, because you weren't alone, Dave. Most people did not put passcodes in their phone. It always surprised me when I'd see people just unlock their phone or, swipe up. And it was like,
I always did.
Really?
I always did, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
good for you.
I did. For me, it's only a 4-digit passcode, but I always put one in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you always just swiped up. You use the passcode, but we know the vast majority of iPhone users did not until maybe Touch ID. Can't remember exactly when Apple started making that. It's mandatory. You have to have a passcode and you have to have Face ID built in, and I think that's appropriate. And I think you can give Apple a lot of credit for nudging its users into a more secure space. That's one of many ways they do that. So that's good.
Yeah. No, they do. Go ahead.
I love one of the new features of iOS 13, and you'll see it on your new iPhone or as you upgrade, where it's telling me whenever an app is going out and getting my location and uploading it, it's telling me. I saw yesterday on I think it was on Reddit, somebody said, Map.me, Apple just told me, has sent my location 23 times to its server, and I haven't opened the application once in the last 24 hours. And to get that information and then to have a setting that says, you know what, only allow it to do this when the app is open or never allow that, that is absolutely a big boon to consumers. Google's copied that, I should point out. Google's now doing that in Android 10.
They had that. Well, they had that. Well, okay, I wouldn't say copied, but this is a priority that all companies are starting to face. Google, I think Google and Apple, because they have a sense of responsibility to their users. Facebook, because it's very expensive to have your CEO having to go to the Senate and having to go have meetings with the president. And if they want to make sure that they get to keep a hold of Instagram and WhatsApp, they're going to have to at least make a show of caring about what people have with their data. But yeah, this is something that every single consumer is becoming more hip about. Fortunately, now we have the Congress getting more hip about it as well. We have 48 state senators and along with state district attorneys, including plus DC and Puerto Rico, getting together, just saying we are going to form a coalition to investigate how well Apple and Facebook and Google and everybody handle data, how well they compete. Because in 10 years' time, we're not going to see the same regulatory field that we have right now, which is a barren landscape where anybody can do anything and there are no repercussions.